Hello, everybody. Hope the microphone is working. Looks like it's picking up. This is kind of an unusual time to do this, and I wasn't completely sure if I was going to because I'm kind of tired. So I don't know if it's going to be a really, really long live stream, but I know that some people wanted me to do another Q&A, so I figured maybe I'll do a little one. But first, I wanted to kind of do some announcements because there were just a couple things I wanted to let you guys know about. First thing is kind of a sort of personal thing, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Well, today I actually finished the first draft of my first novel. It's like a fantasy novel that I've been working on for a while. So I have to go through it, kind of look through the draft, look through some grammar things, flesh out the story. But this is the first place I'm announcing it, so I'm gonna kinda put it on social media and stuff, and, hopefully, I'll get it up on Kindle or something sometime this summer. So if you guys are interested about learning more details about that, I'm probably gonna get it up there digitally, make it pretty cheap, but it's a big deal for me. So, it's called The Black Tree, kind of a dark fantasy novel, and it's kinda this idea that I had honestly almost about a decade ago. I started writing it, lost all my files on the computer, and then just put it away. It's kind of partially inspired by a lot of my D&D games with my friends, as well as other fantasy things I read. And I just said, like last summer, I'm going to finally write this thing. And well, I'm done with the first draft. I finished it today. So that's coming to you guys. I'll probably post more videos about here and on the page. Also, a couple other things. This was kind of sort of inspired by a recent conversation I had with Zoro Fanboy on one of the recent podcasts we did. He's actually been doing a lot of stuff on Twitch. And lately, due to the whole quarantine thing, I've been home more and actually had the chance to sort of check out or catch up on some old video games. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'll actually do some Twitch gaming over there and hook some things up to the Xbox and see. So if you guys have any interest in that, any games you'd like me to check out, I'll see if I can make some of that happen. I'm not a really good gamer, so it'll probably be me failing, but it might be kind of humorous at the very least and check out some games. So that's an idea I'm kind of thinking about as well. As far as things coming up for the channel, well, I've got quite a few requests actually. I've got a couple movie reviews I've got to do probably into June here, as well as checking out some other shows. I'm probably going to have some stuff related to Samurai Jack, and that's going to be the first one I'll probably be doing. And I'm also planning on doing some more interviews with some of the Green Clan Phantom Group people. Hopefully, we'll get some stuff over there on the Phantom Group channel as well. So look forward to that. If you guys have any interest in seeing videos related to other certain types of content, of course, let me know. But that's pretty much it for the announcements. The rest of it is pretty much just going to be a Q&A, hangout session here, kind of sending some questions about anything you guys want. We can sit and talk for a bit. And, of course, like the video, share it, spread it around, and we'll see how long this goes. Again, how's it going, man? I mostly did this for you, actually. I know you're like, I want another Q&A. Yep, so I'm doing one. Let's see. Yeah, I hope so, man. Hope so. I've been working on it for a while. So it's been a long project. I was kind of working on it, honestly, like, trying almost every day, pretty much for the past year. I've been doing it. We're watching a lot of Hakusho lately, and the ending is so good. Yeah, Hakusho is one of those shows I'm gonna have to go back and watch again at some point. I remember a lot of people not really liking the ending that much, to be completely honest. But I don't know. I always kind of liked it. I remember I liked the final arc. I know a lot of people were disappointed about the fact it wasn't like a total demon war sort of thing, and it was just kind of another tournament. I guess a lot of times in shonen they kind of resort to the whole, tournament arc thing, and it's a little redundant. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. The ending was pretty satisfying, though. I kind of just wish that Kuwabara had kind of tagged along. I mean, I guess his arc was kind of completed by that point, but it was just kind of like, oh yeah, he's done, and we'll just have the other three characters by themselves. So that was kind of one way to do it. My favorite Hunter x Hunter character. That's actually a good question. Hmm. Hmm. Well, one of the great things about Hunter x Hunter is that there are a lot of great characters. Actually, I think that Togashi is very good at creating complex characters in general. And well, I was actually thinking about this recently. Uh, if memory serves, I really liked Karapika. I always thought he was really interesting. I liked his backstory, kind of, to avenge his clan and the sacrifice he kind of made to sort of up his Nen powers. Were pretty cool. He's pretty much just really good against the Phantom Troop, and that's it. But I think he was probably my favorite because he's such a kind of really calm and quiet, humble individual. But deep down, he's got all this anger and sadness, and he's an interesting character. He's kind of a lot like I guess Kurama. He's the equivalent for Hakusho, and Kurama's it's tough. I want to say Kurama's probably my favorite Hakusho character, but the both series, I love the main cast so much. That's always very, very tough because it's one of the best, I think, shown in groups. But probably Kurapika, probably Killua is good too. I honestly really like Gon and Leor. I like them all. Hisoka is possibly one, if I could say, like as a villain. I really like Hisoka. He's probably my favorite on the whole. Um, Even though I guess we haven't gotten to see as much of him as we did with some other characters. Obviously, Chimera Antark may have kind of shifted some people's opinions. But yeah, no, Hisoka overall, but of the main cast, probably Karapika, but a lot of great characters. Hey, Zeth, how's it going? Checking in on everybody, seeing how everybody's doing, doing a Q&A hangout sort of thing. So like it, spread it around, man. We'll see if we can get some more people in here, get some conversation going. I know it's kind of late, but see what happens. Ask some questions and keep me talking for a while, and then I'll go to sleep. Hmm. Padme, as in Padme Amidala. Uh, I don't know if maybe I'm missing something. Padme could beat Raditz. If you're talking about Padme from Star Wars, I don't believe she had any Force powers, so I don't think she would be much of a match against Raditz. That's a matchup I never thought I'd hear before. Padme and Raditz. Raditz is pretty powerful. I think you'd have to have like a full on Jedi Knight to take him on. Maybe not like a Jedi Master, but a fairly powerful Jedi to take out Raditz. I think they'd have. Yeah. I think a lightsaber would probably cut through his sand. I used to think that. Uh, I used to think that the Dragon Ball characters had a lot more density, like their skin was tougher and they were just harder to damage. But I don't know. Watching the anime and whatnot, I feel like maybe they weren't quite as powerful. It's weird. I always thought that the scale of power should kind of be equivalent with like how physically strong they are and impervious to damage versus their energy attacks. But the energy attacks are always greater than the sum of their power somehow. So like this guy could destroy a planet, but he could get like slashed by a sword. I don't know. I think it's a little inconsistent sometimes, but I'm going to say a lightsaber probably would injure Raditz. But I don't know about Padme. Hmm. Hmm. You really like combining the DC universe and Marvel with these different anime universes. I think a lot of them, we talked about it last time, could be integrated well because they're kind of superhero esque in their powers and their origins and whatnot. So I guess that would actually be potentially possible. With Wonder Woman and the Yu Yu Hakusho, I think I'd probably play around with it and say she was like from another realm, kind of like she would be a demon or some kind of spirit, maybe like a trained warrior race of women who kind of like spirit detectives themselves that, or they could be like somewhat demonic and just kind of like sealed away for a long time because of some curse. And then Wonder Woman breaks free and maybe meets Yusuke and says, "Oh, this is what's going on." Maybe there's a misunderstanding initially. There's a fight, that sort of thing. I think that could potentially be doable. Kuwabara is your favorite. Yeah, Yusuke. Yeah, Kuwabara is pretty great. Yeah, Kuwabara might actually be my favorite too. Like I said, it's tough. I think Kuwabara is also potentially like the most powerful in a specific way because the spirit sword can cut through dimensions. I feel like that should be more useful than it is. Like, can't we swipe that against somebody, or does that not count? But Kuwabara is pretty great. How would you have Wonder Woman? Yeah, kind of like I said. How would I redo Bleach after the Soul Society? The good old Bleach questions. Hmm. Well, all right. See. Initially, I would. I don't even know if I would have necessarily delved into the Soul Society. See, if I had done Bleach, or if I had a chance to go back and redo it, Soul Society would have been like my final arc. I think that exploring the nuances of the politics of the Soul Society and maybe like an evil Soul Reaper, like an Eisen character, I think would be great. But as like a final arc kind of thing, because we spend the whole series fighting against these hollows, these, kind of more monstrous creatures, but then we quickly learn that they're more human in their origin. And then we say, oh, okay, there's a corrupt soul eater, not soul eater, soul reaper. Like that's a different show, similar. Then I think that would have been a good way to end it. So I think that I would have just pushed that towards the end. But if I had to start after Soul Society, hmm, I feel like I probably would just up the ante with like some kind of massive invasion with like a more intellectual hollow force, kind of the direction they went, but just kind of focusing on the hollows themselves and have them united. Like initially, they're not really united; they're just called kind of like divided with individual attacks. But I think that having them all under one leader initially would have been fine. But yeah, I think that I would have rather just push Soul Society and be one of the last things and just focus more on the individual investigative aspects, kind of like early Hakusho, actually. More of a horror show. No, I've never seen the DBZ MCU vids. Are they any good? Plot induced stupidity fights of Kenshin versus Cell. uh Kenshin versus Smell. Okay. Hmm. It's funny. I'm working on something about running Kenshin right now. Uh, Kenshin, no, I know, because like even though Kenshin is a badass samurai, I mean, up against Cell, no, I mean, no. What I don't know if he'd last 2 seconds against Cell if Cell was really trying, because Kenshin's just a really exceptional human, but like Cell's a superpowered being, so like his sword would probably like break on his skin. Cell would like karate chop him into paste or zap him with a little eye beam, disintegrate him, fight's over. One Piece for DC or Marvel? One Piece is tough because it feels like its own individualistic thing for the most part. I kind of want to say DC again because like it's more fantastical, but um, yeah, probably. But I don't know if One Piece would fit that seem. I mean, it could be. It could be like its own separate, like Kazar or something, or Apocalypse. With New Genesis, it could be like its own world, basically, like a side thing. But I don't know if it could be integrated. It would have to be something the other heroes would go to for like specific missions. Yeah, that I think that would have been cool, honestly. Just like if Eisen had been the one like, I'm gonna manipulate the hollows, I'm gonna kind of control them and use them for my own purposes, completely, and then just invading everybody. I think that would have been kind of cool as like a final end thing. Basically, I just, I think that extended things way too long. Like the idea was fine. I just went on too long, which is a pretty common issue with a lot of those shows. DBZ and Hakusho crossover. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Even maybe in fan fiction or something, it's happened. But I think the problem with a fighting game for that is, I think the Hakusho characters, for as good as they are, I think that they are nowhere near as powerful as the DBZ characters are ultimately. I mean, think about it. When we get to Super, it's way beyond. I mean, I think that when Yusuke, what kind of gets his demon form, I feel like he is kind of approaching that level, maybe, but no. Like if we're sticking to like Dragon Ball characters when they were that level, I think it's a more fair fight. Or maybe very early Dragon Ball Z, maybe, but once we get to Frieza, it's well, that it's not a matchup anymore. Hakusho Bleach crossover, I think, would work a little better. Yeah, very similar, right? Kenshin, Kenshin could probably work well in either. I'm gonna say probably DC again. It's got to be kind of the same answer every time for these most of these questions. Because I mean, if it's basically, I think they can almost always fit more into DC because DC kind of works well for a lot of fantasy and science fiction, but also for things that I think are more realistic. We got the gritty detective stuff. You can throw them alongside Batman or something like a samurai thing. Like it just, a lot of that stuff works. But I think it could work well for Marvel too. Marvel just, I think, has that leaning a little more towards science fiction. So, but it could work well for either, I guess. Whew, how would he handle the Berserk world? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. He's from a very different anime, isn't he? I have a feeling he'd probably continue. Uh, he'd probably continue as long as he could with his particular philosophy, but I don't know how long. I don't know how long he would last. I think he might die a lot sooner because I don't know, he wouldn't want to kill anybody. But I guess if he's only going after monsters, maybe there's a loophole there. Saddest moment? The saddest moment I remember actually was probably in the Samurai X OVA where we find out about his how he got his second scar on his cheek, and the woman he loved that he kind of left everything for sort of betrayed him. Like those are very sad. They're beautiful, beautiful OVAs, but very sad. The Samurai X OVAs, Trust and Betrayal. Sad stuff. Oh, Kenshiro. Kenshiro. Oh, Kenshiro. Yes, yes. Okay. I'm getting Kenshin, Kenshiro. Wow. You're asking people are asking me about both. How would Kenshiro handle it? Oh, he'd be fine. Kenshiro would be fine. They put some pretty awesome fights. I think he'd fit perfectly well with the gore for sure. Yeah, I think Kenshiro would fit in better than Kenshin for sure. Okay, top 5 favorite anime sagas. Okay. Um, let's see. I have to think about that one for a minute. Huh. Wow, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. Sagas. Like sagas, I guess you mean like arcs. We're probably sticking mostly like shonen stuff. Keep it easier. I mean, my favorite of all, I mean, if we're going for nostalgia, I'll try to keep it to one series each. I mean, Dragon Ball overall, it's still probably Future Trunks, like the Android Cell arc. Still probably my favorite. Hunter x Hunter, I really, really like. Man, this is tough, actually. It's really tough. There's a lot of good ones on Hunter x Hunter. I'm probably honestly, I really like the Hunter exam. I really enjoyed that one a lot. I like the I mean the for Hakusho, probably Dark Tournament, probably let me see here. Trying to think of other ones that are coming to mind. I'm kind of oh yeah, the Pain arc in Naruto is really good. Um, I kind of like the early. I kind of really like the early arc with Fist of the North Star. Actually, um, hmm. I feel like I'm missing something really obvious. I'm tired. Forgive me. But yeah, probably yeah. So Hunter exam, uh, Cell arc, Dark tournament. Those for sure. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of like just the early arcs in general for a lot of those shows. So those are probably up there. Man, I'm blanking on something. I know I am. I'm forgetting something really obvious. It's gonna bug me now. If I could just skip to certain series, it'd probably be easier. If I could cheat, I'd probably say King Piccolo or something. Oh yeah, yeah. The Toonami days were great. Oh man, they were good stuff. Yeah, funny thing, I actually didn't grow up with Toonami per se. That's kind of why with a lot of these shows, like I didn't have basic cable growing up. So if I knew about something, I kind of went over to somebody's house and saw like random episodes of things. Most of the stuff I watched from Dragon Ball Z was because my mom got me a bunch of VHS tapes. So I bought like she bought a lot of them for me. But like so I kind of saw like more Toonami and Adult Swim stuff like later on when I guess like around the mid 2000s. So kind of got like the edge of that, but I didn't exactly grow up with it as like a Saturday morning or after school thing as much as some people did. Yeah, Black Widow's death was sad actually. Though honestly, the saddest one for me was actually Vision because I really like Vision a lot. I felt bad when he died. I guess he kind of survived, but he's gonna get a show. But his death in the movie, I felt bad about because I really like him. He had to die twice too. He got really really messed up. Ah, ta, 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 yeah. uh, yeah. Who does the DBZ MCU crossovers? Actually, I don't know about those. Yeah, I see we've got more people. Like, spread it around, share it, ask questions about things. We're hanging out a bit. And there's a DBZ DC crossover. Nice, nice. Yeah, guys. Just kind of letting you know if you're popping in here. It's pretty much what it says. Just doing a hangout, checking in on people. Feel free to send in questions. If you got suggestions about things you'd like to see for the channel, future videos. I did some announcements earlier, but I got plenty of ideas. Just kind of a little sleepy, so I don't know how long this will go. But if you guys, send in more questions and share it and like it and get more people in, then maybe we can keep it going. Let's see. So welcome. How would you set Hunter x Hunter in the MCU if there would be arcs to be placed in the MCU timeline, and would you have the team go and interact in the MCU? Man, that's a tricky one. If MCU placed arcs in the MCU timeline for Hunter x Hunter. This is so random. Uh I guess I would have it probably take place after like Homecoming. I feel like Gon would be another young hero in training, and I guess he'd sort of discover his powers, and there'd be a secret society where you can learn about his net abilities. And I think the Hunter exam would kind of begin a little around then, and probably most of his stuff would take place after the big arc with Thanos. Actually, that way a lot of stuff's kind of established, and there's a lot more room to do spin-offs if we were going to have a Hunter x Hunter MCU movie. Man, I wonder if there are going to be any Hunter x Hunter live action stuff. I think they could probably pull off Hunter x Hunter live action. That would be kind of cool. You're concerned over Lucasfilm's management of Star Wars? I think a lot of people are. Favorite Hunter x Hunter ending song? Oh, I haven't listened to those in a while. I don't know if I see the thing is when it comes to ending themes, I'm not really a big ending theme person when it comes to anime. Like I mean, there are some really good ones. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer a lot of the openings. And I think my favorite Hunter x Hunter opening is from the 1999 one. It's just so classic. Kind of sums up the tone of the series for me. It's fantastic. But I remember a lot of the opening and ending themes for the OVAs that came after that were really good. So it's probably in there somewhere, actually. Uh, I think I remember them hearing they were going to do some kind of Naruto live action for a little while. I thought there was a couple years ago I saw something. I don't know if that happened or if that's still in the works or if it's not in the works, but I feel like they'd want to try to market that early on and they'd probably keep it more kid friendly. Maybe if they upped it eventually did Shippuden, maybe then it could be borderline R, but early on I don't think they do that. I mean, if they limit their audience. And I think a lot of young people would go to see it regardless, but I don't know. Some people might be kind of detracted if there was a lot of blood. You know what I mean? Hakusho, it was the timeline. Interrupt those flipped away. Blipped away. Oh, okay, okay. That one, I feel like Hakusho would work better early on. Actually, I think that could almost work well for Phase One, because you could kind of have a couple origin stories for something like Yusuke. I feel like he could have fit in more with his level of power to be an Avenger, maybe like around Thor or something. As far as who would blip out, hmm, I would have had Yusuke blip out, because that would have been more interesting. And I would have had uh, Kurama. Yes, so it would have been Hiei and Kuwabara who were left behind, because Kuwabara would be like, "Oh, Yusuke, I miss him." He'd want to get him back, and of course, Hiei would be like also wanting to get him back, but Kuwabara and Hiei would have to work together, and they'd have to butt heads, and they wouldn't have Yusuke to be the leader, and they wouldn't have Kurama to be the even-headed calm guy to kind of be the buffer. So it would have to be Kuwabara, and Hiei would have to go after them. They'd be the ones left behind. That would be great, actually. There should have been an arc like that, because them butting heads was awesome. Always kind of bugged we never really got like a full-on conclusion for Hiei and Yusuke's rivalry, though, which I always thought was kind of surprising. No one really talks about that, but maybe we didn't need it. Yeah, it's true. It did. I think Vegeta and Thor would not get along. I think Frieza and Loki might get along a little more, but only in the sense that they would temporarily be allied with each other. I think they betray each other for sure. He and Punisher crossover would be sick. I don't know, maybe. I feel like that would work better early on for Hiei, but he kind of mellowed out later on. Oh man, it would crossover. I mean, I guess Punisher would take care of things, and then whenever he needed help, I mean, Hiei would just do the Dragon of Darkness flame. Be so unnecessary, just crushing mobsters like no problem. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. Ooh, uh, I don't know if it should have been the final fight. Maybe if Hiei had like turned to like the dark side again and was forced to join them, to like pick one of the three kings. I don't know if it should have been the final fight, but it should have been a pivotal moment for sure between them, and it could have solidified his arc a little more. I really do like the final arc, but there's a lot of things you could have played around with, I think, to make it good in a different way or to potentially improve upon it. I think that's I've heard some people say it's the best arc. I think it's really good. I don't know if anyone would say it's like the worst arc. I feel like most people probably would say the first arc of Hakusho's the least popular one, but it's weird. Nobody ever says anything bad about it though, because it's such an important arc. Like you need it. It's a good solid arc, and it's where the only real detective stuff is on the whole freaking show. So it's kind of like it just everything. It's just like Dark Tournament Chapter Black, and then people talk about Three Kings to kind of have some interesting discussion, but no one ever talks about that first arc. You know, just something I noticed. Hulk and Sailor Moon crossover. That would be funny. That would be funny. I think there'd be some potential fun character moments there for sure. Brotherhood. Brotherhood, I don't think would work as well because Brotherhood is supposed to, like all of Fullmetal Alchemist, is kind of supposed to be a sort of World War II, World War One-esque time in Germany and Europe. So I think it would be best as served as a prequel, take place maybe during Captain America. I feel like Cap maybe could have been interwoven with the alchemy and fighting father potentially. That would be the best place for it. And maybe the homunculi could come back. Maybe Ed could be frozen in a similar manner to Cap, and now could be transported through time to fight the forces of evil, kind of like maybe with Hydra. I think that's the best way to do that. Basically, it would sort of be like Captain America, but with Fullmetal Alchemist. That'd be the best way. It'd be mostly regulated to the Captain America as storylines, like Winter Soldier. I don't think it would work well in the. Well, I guess you could have the homunculi fight the Avengers in an Avengers movie. Maybe that could work. I guess that'd be the best way to do it. Yeah. But I feel like that might have been something in between the main Thanos stuff. Who would blip from FMA? Oh, that's a good one. That's a lot of people to choose from there. There's a lot of characters. Mustang, Armstrong, Teacher, Edward. Yeah, probably. That would probably be it. Yeah. So it'd be like Alphonse, their teacher, and Hawkeye would be like the main people. So that would be interesting. Blade and Helsing crossover, yes, that would be awesome. Make that happen. That would be sweet. That would be sweet. Sweet. Helsing, oh man, that would be awesome. That would be perfect. That would be fantastic. That's a great idea. That's a crossover I'd say. How would you imagine all the Digimon seasons being set in Infinity War Endgames? I don't know. These are all crossover questions with like it's a lot of anime MCU stuff. So I'm getting a lot of information about my subscribers, which makes sense. I think I hear the air conditioning or something. Well, that's a good question. Would you imagine them all? I think that it would be kind of sad. I mean, it would be disturbing because it'd be just a bunch of kids wandering around with Digimon fighting against the freaking Shatari or the Skrulls, Thanos' minions. I mean, I think it's not that difficult to picture. It's just they would just be there using their Digimon. It would be some pretty epic fights. I think it's perfectly doable, though. Would fit in fine, I guess. Naruto. I think that would have. I think actually Naruto would have worked well with Daredevil. To be completely honest, I think that the ninja stuff always is kind of right there. So that's something potentially could work. Blipped away. We'll blip away Sasuke. Why not? We'll make Naruto and Sakura have to work together, and Rock Lee, and Rock Lee's teacher actually, because they're fan favorites. So you got to make people worry about that. Kakashi, let's make him go away too. But yeah, we'll keep Gara around. Just kind of keep Gara. yeah, make it all about Gara. That's what I do. Let's see. Hunter x Hunter. Gon. and Leorio. Yes. Punisher and Go-Go crossover would make total sense. Also a crossover that's perfect. Would work well. How would Naruto react if Thanos killed half of everyone in his world? I would imagine he'd be upset. I mean, I'd imagine. I mean, seems like a lot of characters probably would be. Oh, man. Yep. I don't know. I think that thoughts on Trigun. I've been thinking about Trigun a little more lately. I was actually thinking about Trigun a little bit today because I haven't played D&D like Pathfinder or anything in a while with my friends due to the whole shutdown and everything. And honestly, schedules beforehand were kind of difficult. So I've been kind of pondering, like, if I had to run a game, because it's been a while since I ran one, what setting I'd use. And I really would like to do a kind of space western dystopian thing, like on a planet like that, kind of like Trigun. I always really liked the setting for Trigun. I liked the backstory of the characters. I liked the themes. I like Bash overall. I always really like Knives. I really like Trigun a lot. Trigun's one of those shows that I actually had heard a lot about as like a great anime, and I couldn't get into it. First couple of times I tried to watch it, but then I eventually did once I got past those initial couple episodes, and I really liked it. And Trigun is still like a classic. It's up there for me as one of my favorites. I really like Trigun. I'd like to watch it again and do another video about it at some point. But Trigun is really good for the most part. I really like it. What do you think about Trigun? Guardians of the Galaxy with Cowboy Bebop, another fantastic one. I mean, oh yeah, that would be really awesome too. There are some good potential crossovers with anime. I think that that there are some of the MCU ones with anime. Some of the stuff, ironically, if it's too cartoony over the top for MCU, it might not work because anime is kind of portrayed a little differently. But some of them I think fit well. I think Hellsing and Blade are really is a good one. It's a level of realism too. And I think that Gogol Punisher, definitely. And Bebop and Guardians, I think, would be really good too. Shipping? Something I confess I have not really thought a lot about. Man, shipping. Like an anime character with somebody from the MCU. I have no idea, to be completely honest. Give me some things you've thought of, and I'll think if it makes sense. There's so many different anime series to choose from. I'm like, I don't know. Give me some examples. Seriously. Botan and Toast. I mean, I guess I could see her chastising him. I guess that would be kind of funny. It's not. Oh man, I guess so. I guess that would work. Oh man. Hiei and Kuwabara teaming with Blip would tame them from arguing. Probably Hulk, because he was actually doing pretty well, all things considered. Chi-Chi and Thor. Yeah, I actually do think that could kind of work. Interesting you didn't say Chi-Chi and Superman. You're kind of going for a more playful warrior sort of character, so it makes more sense. I could see that, though. Spider-Man and Sakura? Yeah, Tom Holland. Yeah, when they're younger. Yeah, I guess. I guess she probably wouldn't be as annoyed with him. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow was there too to be the voice of reason. That is true. That is true. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, any more questions, guys? Any more? We're doing a lot of MCU anime crossovers, and we're doing like what if situations and like shipping now with different fictional characters. So I see more people popping in. So feel free to like it, share it, send in more questions, movies, comics, science fiction, fantasy, random stuff. I mean, whatever, channel stuff. Let me know what's going on with you so I can take a break from talking, talk amongst yourselves. Any great big nerdy debates. I don't know. Probably go for like another 20 minutes or so. Maybe more. See if we pick up. Got to keep it going. Yeah, Black Widow needs to go at work. Batman storybook goes up against Light Yagami. Ooh, now that would be a good one, actually, because he's got the supernatural power with the Death Note. And obviously, Batman would get to test his detective skills against the genius of Light. That would work pretty well. I feel like it would be very similar to how it probably kind of played out in the manga, which I really do enjoy about half of that manga, obviously. But on one hand, I feel like it would depend on who was writing Batman, because I think it could be a really good cat and mouse thing. I think that Batman probably wouldn't deal with a lot of his nonsense. Batman, if he somehow knew once they would investigate the Death Note, he could totally one up Light, which would be kind of awesome to see. But oddly enough, I feel like if this took place in alternate Death Note anime where Batman was the detective, I honestly think that Light could win. Wouldn't that be, I mean, because that's one of the things we always say. Batman's greatest superpower is that he's prepared. He thinks of all these contingency plans, but I don't know. If he's never found anything about the Death Note, he could win. I don't know. It's actually, I could see that kind of working, though I could see it going two different ways. And it would be really interesting to see a crossover where Batman loses and gets killed. Do the other Justice League members kind of come in afterwards? That'd be interesting. Yeah. Captain America and Casca. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know about that one. I don't know if that would be her type. I'm not sure about that. Doctor Strange. I haven't watched any Bastard or read any Bastard, so I don't know. I'll take your word on that one. I think she'd probably be kind of flabbergasted and annoyed by them at first, maybe, but I don't know, to be completely honest. Doctor Strange and Rukia. Yeah, that could work. That could work. See what I got here. Thoughts on Bleach anime coming back? Cool. Cool. I mean, I'm sure some people are happy about that. I mean, Bleach got pretty epic towards the end, got pretty ridiculous. I mean, I think it's a cool thing. It's getting animated. I'm actually kind of surprised that it took as long as it did. I thought like the manga finished up a while back, so I thought it would have been here sooner. To be completely honest, I just wonder how many views it's going to get. I'm sure it will get something. It's kind of interesting because getting kind of having been part of the I guess YouTube anime community, I guess being exposed, I noticed that it seems like most of the people that I know on here I'm friends with, like, it seems like the thing to do is like people want to get the most up-to-date information from the canon source. So people seem to be mostly into those manga chapter reviews for new things. That's what they do for, I guess, what's hip, what's up, up and coming, what's relevant for views or whatever. And that makes a sort of amount of sense. But I wonder, is there like a subset of the community online that does watch just the anime? Because I feel I know there's some people that just don't read the manga. Some people prefer to watch anime. I like to read manga, but to be honest, I've always liked seeing the full medium of anime. I like seeing the color. I like seeing the animation with the music and the voice acting, uh, the whole package. So I enjoy manga, but I like seeing the whole thing if there is a version. Not that it is always necessarily better, but I'm just wondering, like, is there a series of people like YouTubers or whatever that actually review episodes when they come out, like for well after the mangas come out, or are there people that will read the manga and also review the anime episodes, even though everybody knows what happens anyway? Because I feel like that's two different subsets of the fandom. Like, I mean, I know Zoro, he's like obviously been reading Vinland Saga for a long time. I know that anime is out, and I know he's watching it, says it's really good, and I'm sure it's really good. He said it's by the Attack on Titan people. That's cool. I mean, I'm sure it's great, but like, I've read the manga, so I feel like I don't need to watch the anime. Like, I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's I feel like there's that weird camp. Like you people like to get caught up because it's quicker to read manga, I suppose. So I don't know if there is like a group of people out there that will just review the anime episodes well afterwards, but I don't know. I'm sure I'm sure some people will think it's pretty cool, but for me, I'm like, I don't really care that much. You know my feelings on Bleach. Uh, Paulette versus Joker. Inuyasha spinoff. I heard about that. I'm like 2% more interested in that. 2%. I think it's funny because I mean, I guess it shows the natural progression of things. Like, remember a couple years ago, Final Act came out, and that was kind of a big deal because, see, Inuyasha is kind of a classic for a lot of people that grew up watching it, and kind of discovered anime as like sort of its own thing. And when they're learning about what anime was, that's what kind of Inuyasha was for me. I watched it with my sister growing up a little bit, and she read the manga too. But in terms of like being an established thing now within the past couple of years, I don't know if people regard. Some people understand that Inuyasha is kind of a classic, and other people kind of dismiss it. They might not even think about a manga. So for a lot of people, Inuyasha has been done for a long time, but people that grew up watching it, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever, for them, it's like the final act was really late. And now they're getting a spinoff. Like, I don't know what audience that's for. Like, I guess maybe there's hardcore Inuyasha fans that would want to find out about their kids. I mean, Boruto makes a little more sense because they started it like right afterwards. I'm kind of surprised. I think it's kind of doing well, but like, I don't know. I think I hope they take it a different direction, if they try something new because it is different characters. I really like the world of Inuyasha, so I think there's probably some potential for exploring a new generation. I mean, other anime can do it. JoJo's been doing it for a long time, so generational stuff is possible. But I don't know. I don't know if it was necessary, but maybe it could be good. I might check it out. I don't know. People curious about it. Wonder Woman would probably like. She might like Kuwabara, maybe Kurama. I think she'd probably be irritated about Yusuke. Maybe Hiei a little bit. She might like his warrior spirit. And Griffith that would be bad. Yeah, that would be a cool team up. Deadpool versus Dio would be hilarious. No, I don't think that's the thing with the superhero. I mean, it's no. I think he'd fit in better with Justice League as a character, but I don't think they tolerate him killing. Well, maybe if it is demons or something, because they seem to be kind of iffy when it's not humans. So maybe I feel like Marvel. If it was, I don't know. Superheroes have the no kill policy, so I don't know. I don't think it would work with Sly Cooper in the MCU. Well, I mean, you've got rockets, so why not, right? To be honest, why not? I never really played those games, but my girlfriend really likes them a lot. They seem fun. They're cute. Yeah, Avengers, maybe tight. Maybe he'll live in the MCU. Maybe in the MCU, but not base comic books. No. All right, guys. Well, get your last questions in. I'm kind of tired, so we'll probably do like another 10 minutes. Uh, and maybe we'll try to pick up some other time. So if you think of any more questions, I'll try to answer a few more. We'll do like another 10 minutes of this. And I got to go to work tomorrow. And I got some errands to run afterwards. So think of a few more and send them in. I shall wait. And then I think I'll sleep. Yeah, Batman would for sure. Yeah, probably. Probably. You're right about that. Be pretty hilarious, actually. Wouldn't get along with him as well as Spider Man would. Yeah, and I don't think he'd get too far either. Big sword, but maybe if he was powered up with the dragon armor, perhaps. I'm almost loading points. Wait, is it loading? I'm really trying to load Castlevania on here. I've been playing a lot of old video games on my emulator, and I've actually that's pretty much what I did a lot today on my free time and work. I've been playing a lot of the old Castlevania games because I'm prepping on watching the anime for you, some videos, but I never played them before until like recently, and I for some reason Castlevania Symphony of the Night takes a extremely long time to load on here, so I played it once and it's cool, but man, I'm still waiting for it. I want to play it again. Oh, very convoluted. Absolutely. A lot of the anime worlds are just so they're kind of big unto themselves. There's just a lot of story and plot otherwise. So the MCU would be separate as its own thing. So that's why I think think about it. They've done a really good job of keeping the MCU pretty consistent so far with all the stuff they could have in Marvel. And that's without the X-Men and all the aliens with that. So combining with all these different anime worlds, like it would just be too much. I mean, so I think it's better to keep things focused. Do crossover stuff once in a while to keep things interesting, but like don't overdo it. Let's see. Yeah, Saint Beast. Ooh, that would be a cool scenario. Favorite Death Note character? Oh, guess. Yeah, come on. You know who it is. You know who it is. Get a guess? I'll tell you. It's L. And that's why I have issues with it because I feel like in a lot of ways it was probably a really brilliant move on the part of the writer to subvert your expectations like that and have the villain basically win halfway through the story. And obviously he gets, kind of, cornered, but I don't know. I really like the character a lot. I kind of wish he had won. Let's see. Defenders or Punisher team up. Yeah, I think that level actually. Defenders with the team Urameshi would be good. Batman versus Femto. I don't know actually. Batman's kind of like unofficially like the most powerful person ever, but put him in that world, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like how his dad died either. I mean, a lot of the disturbing deaths in that manga, honestly. And we're getting more viewers, but a lot of people aren't asking questions. They're just watching, just hanging back. I think that Spider-Man would probably react okay. I think there would be some good interplay. There'd definitely be some back and forth banter. I mean, he'd fit in kind of well with the quippiness of the MCU, I suppose. But they probably wouldn't get along, to be honest. But maybe for a little while. I know what you're saying because he's a younger kid, so with Billy Baxton he'd work better. Maybe, but I feel like he wouldn't get along with him because he's a jerk, initially at least. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Let's see. she'd probably die or get brutalized in some way. I mean, that would be like the worst. That would be terrible. We know. Vaughn, how's it going, man? Uh, Green got no. Well, that's interesting. Green Goblin is more evil than the Joker. Green Goblin's more methodical, typically. I mean, once again, it depends on who's writing them, but I don't know. I think the Green Goblin is probably a little more evil in a more methodical sort of way. But I don't know. They'd both be pretty bad, but I still feel like the Joker would be slightly worse. Can Snyder cut save Justice League? People that's been going around a lot. I'm kind of glad that it's finally coming out. I mean, I guess the fans wanted it and they're finally getting it. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I hope so. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors about a lot of things that were changed, with the studio mandates and the committee and everything. Kind of a Rise of Skywalker sort of situation, I suppose. But that's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I think that I don't know. See, I really wanted the Justice League movie to be really good. I know it had a lot of issues behind the scenes, production, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think look at it this way, there was the Snyder director's cut of Batman v Superman. That version made slightly more sense. So I guess it was technically a better movie, but they added on an extra half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. So I don't know. I mean, if you're willing to sit through a 3.5 hour cut of Justice League, I guess it's fine, but it probably depends on the viewer, to be completely honest. So we'll see. I hope so. I think Zack Snyder is an interesting director. I don't really love all his films, but I think his heart's in the right place for sure. So be interesting to see. I'm curious about it. He and Punisher. What do you think they enjoy about knowing and they're enjoying killing? I think they'd have an interesting partnership, though. I think that he would, of course, eventually come around, because he has to. Whereas Punisher, he might continue. Not necessarily. Norman, it depends. I don't know. Norman Osborn I don't know if I would say he was evil initially. I think that he was corrupt and he was flawed, but I don't know if I would say he was evil in the original comics. Maybe he was. I wonder what Stan Lee would have thought about that. But yeah, he was generally speaking, he's portrayed to have been evil before he was the Green Goblin. And that just kind of pushed him over the edge. But I don't know. It depends. I guess he's pretty evil. I kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man 90s cartoon where it's like the only version of Norman Osborn I've seen where he actually wasn't evil to begin with, which I actually thought worked, but I've never seen another version where that wasn't the case. Your dad walked away from it. When I first saw Batman v Superman, I actually thought it was decent. I didn't have as many issues with it, but as time's gone by, I've had more problems with the film. And it's more disappointing. I don't have that much of a desire to go back and watch it. I guess that's the main thing. But I do think that it's not that bad. I like some things about it. Ooh, let's see. I think it's cut of the issue they were currently in. Yeah, probably. I'm getting messaged, so might be a reason to cut this soon too. Streaming. Could do a streaming. Smiley face. Do. Boom. There she be. Why is Vulture my favorite villain? That's a good question. Well, there's two reasons, primarily two different ways I could answer that. And I think that kind of sums up a lot of my favorite things. I think that he's a little underrated. And I think that he's a really consistent villain. He's interesting. I like the whole vengeance angle. His whole thing is about revenge. And I like the fact that he's kind of really old, but he still can go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man. I think that says a lot about him as a villain. And I also just kind of like his design. I think he's kind of silly. He's an old man in a bird suit, but he's actually like a relevant, consistent threat. You know, it's random, but I just like him. Osborne and those curls. Yeah, I've never seen any other characters but the Osborns with those hair, with that hair. Yeah, actually, one of my interviewees. I've got Vaughn the Stampede here in the chat. I'm hoping to do a interview with him, probably this coming weekend. I think, Vaughn, how does Sunday look for you? I think my buddy Gimli, uh, I think it's his birthday, so I'm gonna try and hang out with him Friday or Saturday, and or something like that. I think there might be like something else going on. Like I got stuff going on because I got my car to work on. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that this coming weekend, Vaughn will probably be my next guest, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get some more of the Phantom Group Green Clan people. Falcon, I'm hoping for, Shot Anime, maybe Lunar. I'm also going to try and do some group stuff over on the Phantom Group channel. Vaughn, you're welcome to join in. We're going to try and do a RoboCop commentary watch along thing. Maybe do some group discussions. I want to try and get Zorro and Dead and Hero and pretty much everybody back in again at some point. I don't know if it'll be revolving. I want to try to get to a few people I didn't talk to yet, but maybe Z, if I can track him down. Saiyan Z3, I know he's kind of on here, so it kind of just depends on who's available and who wants to. But also people that are still kind of active on YouTube, so I can promote their channels, or whatever they're doing. I know Shot's working on a manga or a comic, so I want to try and promote that. So check out her stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm thinking Saturday or Sunday, Vaughn. I'm thinking you said like afternoon would be good, midday, not super late, would be good. But yeah. Kingpin is great. I think Kingpin's really good too. I think that Spider-Verse probably got him a little more popularity. Yeah, my buddy Dan over at Dan Reviews It, who I'd also like to get on here, he actually watched the Stargirl pilot. Check out his channel for TV information and stuff like that. He keeps up to date with at least checking out pilots for new shows. He said the Stargirl pilot was actually pretty good. Morbius and Helsing crossover, also perfect. Well, okay, guys, we're in a conundrum here. We're in a conundrum because I'm seeing more viewers. It's like I said, oh yeah, like I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to wrap it up, but I'm seeing more people in the chat. Like there's more people watching, but not that many new questions coming in. So, come on, guys, let me know what are some new videos you'd like to see for the channel. What are some new types of content you'd like to see? What are some more guests you'd like me to have on? Different types of videos. Do you want more podcasts? Do you want more live streams? Do you want more analysis, scripted edit videos? Do you want me to do more skits, more dramatic readings, audiobooks, random stuff? I mean, I know whatever you want me to talk about more, certain series again, characters, different shows, more sci-fi stuff, more fantasy. What do you guys want to see more of? Because I like making videos. Do you like the Joe Loves Movies? Is there anything you'd like me to do differently with those? I've got some other ideas I can share with you guys. Give me some input. I want to hear it. Tell me. Tell me how you're doing. How things been holding up. Share and like it. Like the video. Spread it around. Bring more people in. Frederick is in the chat. I was waiting for Frederick to show up. He's got to drop a bunch of Dune and Lord of the Rings questions. I mean, I didn't even look at it yet, but I'm wondering. It's either a greeting hello. It's usually a hello first, and then eventually there's a question. So I'm going to look down now. Elvish Sindarin, of course. There's some Tolkien reference, my boy. Welcome to the chat. Oh, guess what, Frederick? I actually have something to tell you. I do with a lot of the free time I've been having lately. I actually did something new. I haven't really played many MMOs. I played Star Trek Online a couple times, but I actually got into a new MMO recently. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, Last Airbender popped up on Netflix. Everybody's talking about it. I actually rewatched that not too long ago. The Last Airbender is a really good show. It still holds up. I'll be honest, I don't think I loved it quite as much as when I watched it or rewatched it the last time. Like, I still think it's an amazing show, but like I've been rewatching Samurai Jack, and I've been having like, well, I guess a lot of Samurai Jack I watched for the first time, to be honest. So it was newer, but yeah, Avatar was good. I actually watched a bit of Korra too for the first time, and I actually was enjoying that when I was watching it too. But yeah, Frederick, I started playing Lord of the Rings online, so I've actually been enjoying that. That's been something I've been doing sometimes. Hmm. I did a Roy Mustang character analysis. I did. Check out my Full Metal Alchemist like video list. I did a video list. I did a Roy Mustang character analysis like about a year or two ago. Yeah, I've done a Mustang analysis. Yeah, I have. There are quite a few Full Metal Alchemist characters I actually have not done analysis videos for, but I did finally get around to Mustang. I haven't watched enough of Korra to really give you a definitive answer, but I think part of me wants to say I like Aang more as a character, but I think Korra is more interesting. I will admit. Oh, that'd be great. I feel like there's I feel like a Batman Punisher crossover has happened already at some point, but it would pretty much just be the classic, Punisher's after people and he's killing people, and Batman goes after him, starts investigating a murder, and then they fight and like, oh, what you do is wrong, cross the line. It's just basically Netflix Daredevil, same thing, except I don't think Batman would get captured by Punisher, to be completely honest. All right, see you, Zeth. Take care. You're Rohan captain? No way. Yo, man, you gotta we gotta hang out, man. Are you on Steam? We gotta you gotta help me. I'll have to like raid with you sometime, man, because I'm like level 10. I'm not that far into it, but I'm like I'm just fighting spiders and Arquette or whatever. I'm going to the comb right now, and barely dipped into it. I just got started, man. Just got started. It's fun though. It's pretty fun. Actually, I think I'd have him drop in on the island and deal with the exam. Honestly, probably, probably. Honestly, a lot of the characters could be potentially good video game characters in DC. There just aren't that many good games for some reason. There's enough content up to level 20. The expansions I hate for sales. Well, wait for sales. Yeah, I confess the main reason I play it is because I've had more time and it's free. I know that MMOs tend to be a lot about investing time and money, but yeah, I actually can I ask you a question because I don't know the answer to this because I'm still kind of new to MMOs. And one reason I was put off by MMOs for two reasons because I had a friend of mine a long time ago who was like, you can get addicted to MMOs and it can be bad, which can be an issue with anything. But also that it's I kind of like getting invested in the story and video games I find being kind of solitary. So with an MMO, I know that at a certain point you have to get together for raids, I guess, and take on certain bosses in the main plot. Is there like a cutoff for like when you get to a certain level where you can't really do solo stuff and it becomes harder? Because I notice some missions can be tougher, or is that just something you can join up with parties and like raiding parties and join a fellowship or whatever anytime? Do you have any recommendations for that? Because I don't know. I'm like I don't know. I'm like kind of like I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm like doing okay so far. I mean, it's very relaxing. I enjoy it. It's fun. I'm like I looked at the map and I'm like, oh man, there's so much of Middle Earth you could explore. I'm like you could play this for years probably. I guess it's like a real MMO. So. Mustang and Captain America. Oh, that I probably just have Captain America be the same character, but mostly through alchemy versus with the super soldier serum, and that would be the military and Mestris would be responsible for creating him. That would be easy. Oh, that's just because of the Marvel name brand. They changed the name so they divert sales. It's a copyright thing, but I call him Captain Marvel. I said that in my little video. He's always Captain Marvel to me. Probably. I feel like Mario is already at that level of iconic stuff, man. I really do. My favorite Batman adaptation is Batman the Animated Series. No questions asked. Although the Arkham games are pretty close. And then it's the Tim Burton movies. Yeah, I'd say that's right. And I also like Adam West too. It's probably that order. I do like the Dark Knight films, but not quite as much. But yeah, Batman Animated Series has yet to be topped as the definitive version of the character. It's so good. All right, guys. Well, Frederick popped up. A couple other people popped up, but I see that people are kind of dwindling a bit, and I am kind of tired. So I'm going to kind of end it here. So last minute questions and farewells. Homunculi or Phantom Troop? Oh, man, that's a super tough question, too. I like the Homunculi more overall as characters because I think they're a little more developed, but I think that the Phantom Troop are an excellent group of villains as well. Very good. Mario doesn't have as much because I think we don't see as much of him outside of the games, but maybe if there was some other media outside of the games, perhaps. Though, to be honest, other than the original platformers and Smash, the old Smash games, and I don't really know as much about Mario, so I could be wrong. I know he had a cartoon, but he doesn't have that same level of status as Mickey yet. Favorite Dragon Ball game? Budokai Tenkaichi 1. You can have up to 4 fellowships and raids can go up to 24 players, and they get harder in later ones. Okay. They do get harder. I figured. Well, I'll see if I can join some fellowships and get some opinions. But what's your name on there, man? I'm Manjo Ruln is my name. I'll put it in the chat. If anybody goes on Steam and goes to Lord of the Rings Online, if anybody wants to play that, Manjo Ruln. That's my name. That's my video game name that I usually use for pretty much all my game characters. Manjo Ruln is my Star Wars name. So there's basically you kind of, my dad told me about that. You kind of like pick certain parts of your name and mix them around, and that's your Star Wars name. I don't know if it's a real thing, but that's pretty much been my default video game character. Star Wars games originally, and then pretty much anything. It's always that or a derivation of that. Except for Chrono Trigger, where I just made them like Goku, Bulma, like Piccolo. Yeah, man. Manjo Ruln's my name. If you find me, man, I'll play with you sometime. I need to watch Umbrella Academy. I was curious about it. Underrated Dragon Ball villain, Dr. Gero. Big time. And Tamarine. Yes, I finished Witcher. Witcher was amazing. The show was really good. Really, really good. I really was into it. I'm interested in the games. I might actually try to play some of them now or read some of the books. I think I would just introduce those characters as demons and go from there. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to you all. Thank you for dropping in. Please, if you have any additional questions, put them in the comments. If you have suggestions for videos or content you'd like to see, let me know. Feel free to check out my Patreon if you want me to make you a specific video. Appreciate the support. And I'll let you know about the novels I'm writing it. I'm hoping to try and have that maybe published on Kindle by the end of the month. Going to potentially be on Twitch doing some gaming. And I have some movie reviews and podcasts in the next couple weeks and months. So looking forward to that, everybody. Genkai, it's a good one. All right, everybody, stay magical.